You might be surprised to learn that forgiveness isn't what most people think it is. Most people assume forgiveness means letting people off the hook, pretending like it didn't hurt, or forcing yourself to trust someone who betrayed you. But here's the truth. Biblical forgiveness is far more powerful, far more freeing, and far more serious than what the world teaches. It's not a suggestion. It's a command. And it reveals something very important about your own soul. Jesus said something shocking in Matthew 6. If you don't forgive others, your Father won't forgive you. That's not a soft warning. That's a direct, eternal consequence. And yet, so many Christians live with bitterness, holding on to past wounds, convinced they have the right to keep their grudge. They say things like, "You don't know what they did to me," or "I just can't forgive them yet." But that mindset misses the entire point of the gospel. If you've been truly forgiven by God, how can you withhold that same forgiveness from someone else? The gap between your sin against God and someone's sin against you is immeasurable. We offended a holy God. We rebelled, lied, hated, and disobeyed, and yet He forgave us. So when you grasp the depth of your own forgiveness, it becomes impossible to hold others hostage with your bitterness. So how does this fit into your life? Right now, you may think you're justified in staying angry. You might feel like forgiveness is something you'll get around to later, after they apologize, after they change, or after time heals the wound. But here's the hard truth. Waiting to forgive is not an option Jesus gives you. Forgiveness isn't based on their repentance. It's based on your obedience. It doesn't mean reconciliation always happens. Sometimes people remain unrepentant. Sometimes boundaries are necessary. But forgiveness, biblically speaking, is your release of vengeance. It's your decision not to punish. It's your surrender of the role of judge, trusting that God will deal with them justly in His timing. Unforgiveness is a trap. It poisons your heart, darkens your joy, and gives Satan a foothold. Ephesians 4:26 warns us not to let the sun go down on our anger, not just because it hurts others, but because it hardens you. It chokes your prayers. It clouds your peace. It silences your witness. And if you're still not convinced, think about the cross. Jesus didn't wait for His enemies to apologize before saying, "Father, forgive them." He forgave from a place of agony. And He calls you to follow in that pattern, not because it's easy, but because it's holy. You might be asking, but what if I can't forget? God never tells you to erase your memory. Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending something never happened. It means you no longer hold it over them. It means you don't use it as a weapon in your heart or in your words. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's spiritual strength. It's Christ-likeness in its purest form. And it proves that you understand grace, not just for yourself, but for others. Romans 12 tells us, "Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God." That's the key. You can let go because you trust Him to deal justly. So, do you have to forgive everybody? Yes, not because they deserve it, but because you didn't either. And God forgave you anyway. That's the standard. That's the gospel. Now ask yourself, is there someone you're still holding in your heart? Someone whose name makes your stomach turn, whose face floods your mind with pain or anger? What if today was the day you let it go, not for their sake, but for yours? What if today was the day you finally lived free? Jesus didn't die so you could stay bitter. He died to set you free. Don't wait for closure or an apology that may never come. Don't let unforgiveness define you. Choose obedience. Choose grace. Choose to reflect the mercy that saved your soul. Because in the end, forgiveness is not about what they did. It's about what Jesus did. And when you see that clearly, the question isn't, do I have to forgive everybody? The real question becomes, how could I not?